Okay, so in this case, today's learning objectives, we're going to cover sit writing. Okay, situational writing is found in your paper one, right? So, and it's also in the section B of paper one. There are three components in your paper one: editing, sit writing, as well as your, just basically your writing in terms of, like, there are different genres: narrative, expository, and all. Okay, but today we'll be focusing mainly on sit writing, which is the section B of your paper one. Okay, how to effectively write to suit your purpose, audience, and context. I think you're quite familiar with this. In school, probably they would have talked about this also, the PAC, right? Purpose, audience, and context. Okay, so in this case, sit writing is what we're going to go through, but also on top of that, if we have extra time, we'll also like to discuss current affairs, because I think nowadays, um, current affairs can come in many forms in your exam. We're talking about O levels syllabus as well as the exam format, yeah? So you can have current affairs found in your comprehension passages. Okay, you can have current affairs found in your oral exam. So you can be given like a media or even a video. Nowadays, oral is, you're given a video, right? Or even a passage in your, for oral, you have a speaking component, that spoken, and then also spoken interaction as well. Okay, so over here at 88 Tuition, I think we believe in just covering a lot of current affairs and having a lot of discussion, right? Active discussion about it, so that you can have more content to talk about when it comes to real exams. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to cover today. So we will of course start with sit writing first, and for today the genre that we are going to cover is formal speech. Okay, so I think for speeches, I'm not too sure how many of you are any of you in like Toastmasters Club, or maybe some of you are student counselors. Okay, so you might have experience giving speeches. Okay, the truth is that public speaking is actually a little trickier than that, because sometimes you can get stage fright. Okay, some people are not very fond of speaking on stage in front of a big crowd, right? It's a little bit trickier, but if you were to prepare well enough, giving a speech shouldn't be a nightmare. Okay. Some people might think it's difficult, but if you can just write it down properly, that's why preparing a speech is important. Okay. But of course, in the context of situational writing, we are writing it down. We are not asking you to give a speech in front of everyone. Okay. But you do have to have that notion in mind that, if I were to really speak on stage, how am I going to write this speech? Okay, so what is the PAC? Yeah, let's think about what is the PAC of this sit writing assignment. Purpose, why am I writing this? Okay, very important. Huh? Think about, why am I writing this? Who am I writing to? The audience, as well as the context. Context meaning, what is the situation exactly? Why are we writing this, right? Why should it be informal? Should it be formal? So that's the tonality of it. Okay, and the tonality is very important. If you think about it, you will be marked on tone. Okay, in terms of content, it's 10 marks. In terms of language, is 10 marks, right? And under content, 6 marks will be to the points that you answer. Okay, later on when we give you the example, you will understand what what I'm referring to. Okay, so there will be pointers in the question, and you have to answer all of them to get your 6 marks for content. And in terms of content, where does the other 4 marks come from? It comes from the tonality, whether you are using the correct tone, okay? And also, of course, you will also be marked on the format as well. For email, there's a certain format. For speech, there's a certain format. For letters, there's a certain format, right? Like salutation, signing off, all this. Okay, so now we are talking about formal email. Okay, so in this case, okay, formal email, okay, since it's formal, okay, so it will be, oops, sorry, should be the next page, huh? Okay, so formal email, since it's formal, it has to be to authority, someone of a higher authority, for example, your principal, head of a department or an organization. Okay, then of course, since it's formal, it should be formal tone. Okay, the tonality should be formal. Contractions cannot be used. What do we mean by contractions? Okay, contractions meaning, for example, he is, right? You actually write it in short, his, right, with the apostrophe there. So this is a contraction, and it should be avoided at all times for, especially for formal writing. Okay, so this is a contraction. All right. And then lastly, your purpose. Okay, usually purpose is to provide information about a situation. For example, it's a complaint or you are giving a proposal. Are you giving a proposal? When you are proposing something versus you're complaining something is a totally different purpose, right? And then of course your choice of words will be different as well. Versus if you're informing someone of something. Okay, a complaint, probably your tone will be different as well. Yeah. Avoid lengthy elaboration. Okay. Now, what I mean by lengthy elaboration is you have to be concise. Okay. Let me give you some examples. Yeah. Um, so you have here, for example, a what she said was general and not detailed. Actually, you could have just written what she said was general. That's all. Because not detailed, isn't it general? Right? So some words are redundant words. So you have to be very concise because if you're writing a formal email, some people do not like it when you keep ranting on and on, right? So some people just like it short and sweet and just really concise, yeah? So concise and precise writing instead of wordy writing. Okay, so I'll give you another example, like for example, in the event that it rains. Okay, so you can actually use if it rains instead of in the event that it rains. Just like free gift. Free gift, isn't it a gift free? Right? If a gift is not free, then it's not called a gift anymore, right? So instead of free gift, you can just use the word gift. Okay, so that's what they mean by avoid lengthy elaboration. So basically, it means your writing must be concise and precise. Okay, and avoid redundant words, basically. And please stay focused. Okay, concentrate on the main topic. Try not to write out of topic. In fact, I think for situational writing, you shouldn't be writing out of topic so easily. Okay, because a lot of the information are there. You basically just need to translate into writing and try to write in your own words so that your language is, you can score better for your language, right? But otherwise, if you were to just continue to write the pointers, you shouldn't fail as well. Okay, you should pass your SIT writing, right? Of course, if you want to score even better, then you have to work on your language and make sure that you use more flowery language and also try to write in your own words. You will get extra bonus points for that. Okay. All right. So, okay. So this is actually like the skeleton. I always say like a fish, right? When we come to writing, okay, it's like a fish bone. There must be a skeleton. Okay, meaning your formatting must be correct. So when we talk about formal writing, okay, it's always like any writing, there should be an introduction and there will be a salutation here. Okay, the salutation. And then of course, like any writing, also there will be body paragraphs, and finally your conclusion. So this is like the skeleton of the fish. But of course, if we are talking about the flesh of the fish, okay, the flesh. Okay, I know I can't draw, but just bear with me. Okay, so if we're talking about the flesh of the fish, we're talking about the words that you fill in. Okay, but when we're talking about the formatting, the skeleton, okay, is the bones, right, of the fish. Okay, so salutation, you do not need to ask after them. Dive right into the purpose. If it's for formal writing, what do we mean by do not have to ask after them? Okay, so for example, if it is your friends or family, you probably ask them, how have you been? You know, I've missed you since the last time we met. So these are the things. But if you're writing to your principal, you don't say, dear principal, how have you been? You know, I've missed you. You know, it's just not suitable, right? So in this case, you do not have to ask after them, just dive right into the purpose for formal writing. State your purpose, explain your purpose, okay? And then for body paragraphs 1 and 2, basically you have to answer the points. So just now I mentioned there are 6 points. Okay. Later on, I'll explain to you what do we mean by the points. For your body paragraph 1 and 2, you must include the points in the question. If you do not, you don't get marks for content. Okay, and I always say that just answer these 6 questions, you will at least get 6 marks. For each question you answer properly, you get 1 mark. Of course, if you want to score even better for your SIT writing, then these 6 answers you might want to write in your own words and just put in a little bit more information, and you can score better for your SIT writing. Yeah. Okay, so take note of the tone. Okay, tonality is important. Okay. And lastly, you can conclude by expressing a hope, a wish, or you just want to summarize, depending on the context again. Right? If you are giving a suggestion, then of course you hope, you wish. Okay, I'm giving the principal a suggestion. Maybe I am the president of the student council group. I'd like to suggest to the principal that I want to build a new basketball court or something. So I hope, the principal will take into consideration my suggestion. Okay, I wish for it to happen. But of course, sometimes you are just giving like a speech to summarize certain things. So your conclusion should be a summary. Okay, so you will be summarizing it. So far, okay. Any questions? Nekha just came in, is it? Let me just take a look. Okay, Nekha, I don't have your name on this list. Is that your real name? Oh, okay. Sorry. That is Vaska, right? You just changed your name, isn't it? Can you hear me? Yes? Oh, because I can't hear you actually. Is your speaker working?
I can hear you.
Ah, okay, great. Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, so I think everything is okay. I'm going to move on, yeah? Okay, so when it comes to formal writing in terms of email, okay, just now the format, I remember the fishbone, right? This is basically sample format for formal writing in general, okay? But email can be formal, can be informal. So what I'm going through now is the formatting for formal email. That is a slight difference, okay? So basically these 4 portions are the same, okay? These 4 parts, oops, sorry. Okay, basically these 4 parts are the same as formal writing. Okay, but if you notice, the only difference is that for email, there will be a sender and recipient. So the recipient's email address. And of course, I also have the sender's email address. And very important portion here for the format is that for email, there must be a subject. Okay, so this one is the subject, very important. Yeah, so the subject here is a proposal about the sports carnival, and he is writing to his principal. So same thing, there must be salutation as well. And of course, conclusion is that I appreciate, and he expresses his hope. Yeah, so like I said, for conclusion, you can be I hope, I wish, or I would like to summarize, So in this case, his conclusion is that he hoped that, some of these ideas will be considered for the sports carnival. Okay, so let's zoom into the question. I think I've seen some of your answers and responses. I've also given some comments. Okay, you might want to just, log into your 88 Tuition account and just have a look. Yeah, but for today, we'll also go through. So if you notice, you will see that this is the visual text that has been provided for you. Okay, and okay, so if you look closely, there are definitely some information provided. Okay, this one, if you think about the genre, I think this will be somewhat like an advertisement, right? Because